What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Trey Sense. So I just happened to come across a few fragrances in my collection. No particular rhyme, no particular reason or season. Train tracks there, highway there. I just wondered if you'd smell them. So I decided to put them together, do a video. Have you smelled these fragrances? Definitely would like to know your thoughts on them in the comment section. But before we even get into that, I need a little something from you. Like this video, share this video, and if you haven't, please sub to the channel. It would mean a lot to me. Continue to check in and let me know where you're watching these videos from. No further ado, let's get into it. From the house of El Gonzo. What is this? Friday edition. I wore this one time. Hadn't had it very long. Some of these I've just worn once. At least 4 of these I've just worn one time. I think it's 8 of them in total. And I like this fragrance. It's a very expensive fragrance if you pay full retail, but I'm gonna tell you what I like about this fragrance. I've seen other reviewers review it or review this house and they say that it's niche quality. That's subjective. What I can tell you is this fragrance smells really, really good. It reminds me of something from the 90s. It took me back to a very nostalgic time period. That's what it smells like to me. It smells like a fragrance from the 90s. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I mean that in the best way possible. It's just got that vibe. It's a very chill, very relaxing fragrance. It is definitely a masculine fragrance. I think I picked this up at TJ Maxx, and I want to say it was either $24 or $19. And I actually like the fragrance. That's the only thing I know to tell you guys, is it just gives me a nostalgic 90s type of vibe. Comes across as super, super masculine. Very clean. I'm trying to think of what it would remind me of from the 90s. It's not Lagerfeld photo or Karl Lagerfeld like. It'll come to me, man. I can't think of anything right offhand. It reminds me of fragrance. Now, I'm not saying that these fragrances smelled as good as this one, because this does smell of nice quality. It does not come across as cheap at all. But it just reminds me of fragrances like Gravity. To name one, I'm trying to think of something else. Gravity definitely comes to mind. Man, I had a bottle of it and I sold Avatar. You remember Avatar? I had a bottle of that and I sold it for like $100. Yeah, it reminds me of fragrances like that. Old Spice had one that was a banger called White Water. Beautiful, beautiful, aquatic, fresh type of fragrance. And that's what this reminds me of. Polo Sport, Avatar, Gravity, you know, fragrances like that. I'm not saying that they're clones or anybody's cloning or that it's a direct copy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you get this fragrance, if you see this El Gonzo Friday, it was a Friday edition, it's gonna remind you of fragrances from that era. It has a very nostalgic feel to it, to me. No one particular note jumps off like citrus or berries or citron or ambroxan or isoe soup or none of that, or smoky tobacco. It's just got a nice nostalgic feel to it. I like it, and I think you will too. From the house of El Gonzo, it is Friday edition. This one is from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo. Great bottle design here, and it is bright leather. You guys smell this one? Anybody out there familiar with bright leather? Another TJ Maxx find, and I think I paid about $50 for this one at one time. Maybe wearing it again this week because I think the temperatures are going to swing up as the rain comes in. Is that bergamot, maybe? You would think with leather in the name that it would be a leather forward fragrance, leather centric. And it may later in the fragrance, but on the top, it's a very citrus heavy, very pretty fragrance. Could almost be unisex. I could definitely see a lady wearing this fragrance. Pretty good quality. I think Salvatore did a good job with this one. That's nice. That's nice. I pick up on a lot of citrus, maybe a bergamot, but that's what gives it that brightness. It's nice. The brightness is nice. This is a nice fragrance with the spring being just around the corner. People in Alabama are tired. It's been a cold winter. Some people in Alabama are tired, but February and March are going to bring longer days and warmer temperatures for us. I don't know about the rest of y'all, but yeah. Yeah, I like this fragrance. Bright. Bright leather is a good name for it. Bright, period. It's a very bright fragrance. To give you a slight comparison, but they're not the same. You remember Burberry Indigo? That brightness that's in that? Yeah, same thing. But this is definitely a much more mature fragrance than Burberry Indigo. That was one I had a fit for. I had a sample of it in something I got, man, and I could not wait to get Burberry Indigo. And I think I found it at a TJ Maxx in Madison, Alabama. But from the house of Salvatore Ferragamo, it is bright leather. This next one is sneaky good. And I'm gonna tell you something. This house is sneaky good, especially for what it is. They make amazing cars. And they make pretty good cologne too. The house is Mercedes-Benz, and this is Mercedes-Benz Gray. Mercedes-Benz makes some good fragrances. You know, I got the hookup over at Dillard's. Every time I go and take advantage of the pre-order sale, I have so many different fragrances. They let me pick through some of the older testers that they have left. They pulled out some Mercedes stuff that they no longer sell. It smelled pretty good, but I was just like, you know, I always check prices too. I'm just like, especially on stuff like Mercedes, I'm like, nah, there's no point. You know, I can pick that up for. This is a good little office type fragrance, Close Encounter. Picked this up at Burlington for about 20 bucks, and I like it. I like it. Very clean, very fresh, very gray. Warms up pretty good. Very balanced fragrance. This is one that I think you could wear year round. It does come across when you first spray it on initial sniff, you're gonna think, yeah, that's one for the spring and summer. But as it sits on your skin, it quickly starts to move and turn into a very warm, but at the same time, sweet fragrance. Again, this is another one that I think could be unisex. I could see and smell a woman. I could see a woman wearing this and it's smelling good on a woman. And when I say that, it's not a bad thing. It just means that it ain't super smoky or super tobacco-y or, you know, something like that. It means it's really a sweet fragrance. And there's a lady came through my line tonight at work, and she had on a very, very sweet fragrance, but I thought that smells like a man's fragrance. And it did. Because you have to realize a note is a note. They're going to use the same notes in all fragrances. They just use different amounts in men's and women's. That's the only difference, guys. But I could definitely see a woman wearing this, and it would smell good on a woman as it would smell good on a man. It does sit close to the skin. Again, I think that's what makes it a great close encounter or office type fragrance. But from the house of Mercedes, it is Mercedes Gray. Have you smelled this? Have you smelled it? I like it. I like it a lot. That's nice. White t-shirt approved. White button-down shirt approved. That's good. That's good. If you see this one out in the cheap bin somewhere, you may want to pick it up. You may just find yourself a little steal. That's a good one. Speaking of steal, from the house of, excuse me, Cristiano Ronaldo, and it is Legacy. Good one right here, man. Everything about this fragrance is good. The price is good. The price was good for me. I got this on clearance for about $5, and maybe a little bit more. Maybe it was about $9, but it was on clearance. Great detail in the bottle and the presentation. Just want to show you the bottle. And there's the side. Gold atomizer, Cristiano Ronaldo, the initials on the top. Nice, nice, nice fragrance. Let me see. Decent atomizer. Nothing to write home about. This fragrance reminds me of another celebrity fragrance, though. It kind of reminds me of Usher, the black one, the original Usher. And that's not a bad thing at all. You would be surprised at the number of women that when they talk about fragrances, it's only a handful that they bring up. And most of it is stuff we don't wear. The original Usher is one that they bring up. Drakkar is one that they bring up. Chrome is all, especially in the South, man, they go crazy over Chrome around here still. The original Chrome, not all these flankers, the OG. They go crazy about it, man. They go stupid over Chrome. And Issey Miyake. Issey Miyake. Every woman over 40 that smells me and says, "Ooh, you smell good. Is that Issey Miyake?" No, girl, it ain't. No, it's not Issey Miyake. No, it's not. Not that there's anything wrong with Issey, but that's all they know. Because back when they was in the club, they used to hit them with that right there. Bring it down on them, boy. Y'all, man, I'm telling you, I ain't always been this nice guy. I used to be. But that's what this reminds me of, is Usher. And it smells good. It smells good. Maybe slightly little pineapple note in there like Usher, but it comes across very, very refined and very smooth, very mature. I think this may be a little bit better made, a little bit better quality than Usher, but very, very similar in scent profile. But do you have any familiarity with Cristiano Ronaldo Legacy? I have a question for you guys if you're watching, if you're still watching. I see a lot of Cristiano Ronaldo fragrances out there, and I don't know anything about them. I see a red one, I think it's R7, and I see a blue one. Are those bottle worthy? Are those worth picking up? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if those are worth picking up, and I've been sleeping, passing up on good stuff. Y'all let me know. One more, well, 4 more, from the house of Hugo Boss. This is Hugo Boss United. United. And this is a good fragrance right here. That's a perfect example of why I always try to find an atomizer. And look, they got a black dot and I still almost sprayed myself. But it's 3 o'clock in the morning. And your boy still ain't laid down, so it is what it is. Got to be mocha. Ooh, that's good. We ain't starting over. That's good. That's real good. Clean citrus is what this is. I'm trying to recall. This is United. I'm trying to recall how similar it is to Unlimited, the one in the white bottle. I really don't think you need them both, but I'm gonna tell you, this one right here, I've had about 3 years, about 2 years, and it is maturated. This was a Burlington find also. Same Burlington that I found that Mercedes-Benz at. Same Burlington. They have now moved locations. If you're familiar with the Huntsville area, they were on this side, now they moved to this side, just right down the street. That's nice. That's nice. Very subtle. I need to start, well, it doesn't have a sticker on it. I'm wondering if this is a parfum concentration on EDP concentration, because it sits already very close to the skin, but it has maturated. That's good. That's good. That's real nice. It is kind of a citrusy type of fragrance, but it's not over the top, loud, or in your face. It sits very subtle, very close to the skin, but I like that. That's one of the things I like about doing these videos is I revisit fragrances that I haven't worn in a while myself, and I'm just like, bruh, why haven't you worn these fragrances? Because it's only so many days in a week, man. Give me a break. Man, that's good. If you can find this, I recommend it. I don't know how popular it is and how available it is. Hugo Boss, man, they got some good stuff. Between Boss Bottled, between Triumphant, Elixir, the Scent Private Accord, and the Scent Absolute, those fragrances right there are a monster. And that one right there, I purchased Hugo Boss, was it Parfum? Boss Bottle Parfum. And it was similar to something else I had, so I ended up taking it back. It wasn't worth keeping it, so I took it back. This next one, I wonder if you have, yeah, I know, I thought the same thing you did. Probably should put them glasses down before you spray. You're right. I mean, I'll argue with you. This is from the house of Abercrombie and Fitch, and it is Far Away. No, not Far Away, just Away. I think I've seen Away Night, and I've been curious about it. Now this one, I'll say it again. Easily a unisex fragrance. This is easily a unisex fragrance. This is one that can be worn by man, woman, boy, child, any age group. It's just a very fresh, floral, slightly floral. Don't think old church lady floral. Think just a kiss of floral. Think something that you would want to wear maybe around March, April, when the days start to get long and it's not getting dark to 7:30, 8 o'clock. You know, for those on the West Coast, that'd be 9, 8:39. Further west, 10 o'clock. But a nice, fresh, airy type of fragrance. Really, really nice. Again, white t-shirt approved, white button-down approved, super easy, super simple. Not the reinvention of the wheel, but these are the type of fragrances that work. As a matter of fact, I wore this to work one day, and a female coworker of mine complimented me on it. She's like, whatever you got on today, I like that. It's not too much. So sometimes you need a fragrance that's just a little bit, and I think this one will do it. From the house of Abercrombie and Fitch, it is Far Away. Tell me what y'all think about that fragrance. We're gonna stay in the fresh, clean, crisp line. Getting ready for this video, I sprayed this on the other day. And I bought this on vacation in the Biloxi Gulfport area. I can't remember if I was in, I want to say I was in Gulfport, but I was down in Biloxi on vacation. So I just lump them all together. Biloxi, Gulfport, D'Iberville, Long Beach. It's past Christian. When I'm down there, I'm down there. So Waveland, which is one of my favorite spots. And I picked this up, and it was cheap. And I didn't really think too much about it. Wore it once or twice, probably once, knowing me. And I come to revisit it. I sprayed this on the other day. And the name of it is from the house of Lucky brand, and it's called Rebalance. I enjoyed it. I did. I really enjoyed it as I sat in the recliner and watched IDTV and got my thoughts on bills and fragrances and reviews and thumbnails and all this other stuff that goes through my head. I enjoyed this fragrance. I enjoyed it. See if I can find a spot to get it on skin. Very calm, very balanced, very zen. Cap is trash, bottle is nice, clear. A little bit of an alcohol twinge there in it, but not anything just outrageous. Very chill. It's not the highest of quality of a fragrance, but it was under 25 bucks. It was around the $20 mark. May have been $19.99. May have even been cheaper than that. But it's got a very nostalgic feel. I'll tell you what it reminds me of. It reminds me of a mall. It reminds me of going into a specialty store in the mall. Like, I know Buckle sells cologne, and I've heard their fragrances are very good. I haven't smelled anything, but it just reminds me of a fragrance that you would buy at the mall, like something from Rue 21. I don't even know if Rue still sell fragrances. I know they used to sell a lot of them, but that's what it reminds me of. Something that you would get from Rue 21 or something that you would get from Old Navy, but it's a good fragrance. I like it. I like it. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit woody, very, very airy. It's a very airy fragrance, but it's nice. It's basic, but it's nice. I mean, it's just a fragrance. It's not one that I think is gonna stop a lot of traffic, but I think it's one that when people come in contact with you and you've got it on, they're gonna be like, hey, you smell nice. What is that? What is that? And I think it's a very youthful fragrance, but it's not super duper sweet or cotton candy, sweet as gold. Let me see that Tootsie Roll. It's nothing like that, and again, but it's not, sipping a cup of coffee in the morning out. It's not none of that. It's none of that. But it is good. It is good. A little bit sweet, but it's not that syrupy, gourmandy kind of sweet, if you know what I mean. It's sweet in the same sense of Versace's Manu Fresh. It's sweet in that sense. I like it. I can see a young lady wearing that as well. Very, very light. Good little office scent. All right. Last but not least, I'll put them down now. From the house of Perry Ellis, it is Perry Ellis Red Sky. And I've seen Blue Sky. I didn't pick up Blue Sky, and I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I may grab it the next time I see it or something. I don't know. I guess because I'm just like, sometimes I buy so many of these inexpensive fragrances, and sometimes I keep them, sometimes I take them back. It just depends on what type of mood I'm in. I like this fragrance. I really like this fragrance, and the one time that I wore this fragrance, I had a compliment, several compliments, and it's filled the room. Very airy. I guess that's why they call it Red Sky. Very red, very masculine. Out of all the fragrances that I sprayed here, this one may hit the hardest out of all of them, because all of these are sort of light and sort of, that El Gonzo is settling down on my skin, and it really smells good. But it is so reminiscent of the 90s, but man, does it smell good. That is a good smelling fragrance. This right here, when this bottle gets to right about there, and enough air and everything mixes in here, this is gonna be a good fragrance. This is gonna be a good fragrance. It reminds me a little bit of Calvin Klein Eternity Air, which is a super underrated fragrance, super underrated. Reminds me a little bit of that with a lot more spice and kick, but this is not an over. I'm trying to see where I got some skin. Ooh. Is that Ferragamo smelling like that? Okay. But anyway, this is going to be a good fragrance. This is a good fragrance. It makes me want to check out Blue. Do you guys have blue? Anybody out there have Perry Ellis blue? I don't know if it's called sky blue or blue sky. I don't know, but this is red sky. Great fragrance. Great fragrance. This is a great fragrance that I think is going to be a super great fragrance. Especially for that price. It's very, very reminiscent of several fragrances that I have from Perry Ellis, like, was it red? I think it's just Perry Ellis red. You know, the ones that he made in the square bottles. There's one, I think, called Perry Ellis, and that's the one everybody was saying smells like Blue de Chanel. It doesn't smell like Blue de Chanel. It smells nothing like Blue de Chanel. It smells good, but it doesn't smell anything like Blue de Chanel. There's a red version of that fragrance, and it reminds me a little bit of that. It reminds me a little bit of the red Perry Ellis. It reminds me a little bit of Perry Ellis Spirited. It's got a lot of Perry Ellis DNA in it, which is not a bad thing, but I do think it's a good fragrance, and I think it's worth the purchase. I think it was $19 for this at Ross. And again, I've seen, I can't remember if the name of it is Sky Blue or Blue Sky, but I've seen it, and revisiting this makes me want to go get it. A little bit of a woody, musk, airy fragrance. That's what you have here, and I like it. I like it a lot. So, all right, guys, that's it, man. That's all I got for you today. So tell me if you have any familiarity with any of these fragrances, and if so, what are your thoughts on them? If you smelled them and didn't like them, hey, that's fine too. Just let your boy know. So with that being said, I'm gonna shut it down, go in here and edit the video and get it ready to go up, because they upload better at night. So I'm gonna upload it and get it ready to watch and make a thumbnail and all that fun stuff that we have to do for these videos. So yeah, that being said, man, I'm gonna jump off. I love you all, and may God bless you all. Until next time, guys, peace.